Hi everyone, welcome to another Upskill bonus video. In this short session, I will reveal the secret of driving license number. This only applies to British driving licenses. The first 5 characters are the first 5 letters of the driver's surname. If the surname is less than 5 characters in length, the remaining spaces will comprise of the digit 9. Like in my example, Nash is 4 characters, so the 5th character is 9. You can see the surname of the worker I'm showing you at the top left here. This, of course, needs to match the worker's surname and the personal information on the personal information section, the first screen, as are the details on the worker's profile, which I'll show you in a second. So the 6th character is the decade of driver's date of birth. So here we have 7 for the year 1978. And as I said before, that also needs to match the personal information section. The characters 7 and 8, these are the month of birth. So January is 01. For female drivers, however, the 7th character is incremented by a 5, so 5-1 instead of 0-1. Gender can also be selected on the first screen. Characters 9 and 10. This is the date within the month of birth. This would be between 01 to 31, and our driver was born on 31st of January, so it will be 3-1. Character 11. This is the year digit from the year of birth, so 1978 would be 8. Characters 12 and 13. The first 2 initials of the first names. If the driver has no middle name, the character is replaced with a 9. There is an option to add both names in the personal information section. So our driver name is Robert and second name is Alan. Hence RA. Character 14 is just random digits, typically 9. And characters 15 and 16 are 2 computer check digits. This will be selected in random by the system that generates the numbers, of course, not by us. There is no check on these 3 last digits because it's random, so we can't really predict what could that be based on the personal information of the worker. And the issue number is also not checked. Now let's see what's going to happen when we change some of the worker's details. Let's test it on the surname. So what would happen if I change one of the letters? Let's say I change H for E. I can save it here, but if I go to my license SACCO and CPC section, you will see at the bottom left that driving license ID is invalid now. So in order to see what exactly is wrong with it, I would need to try to resave the license number. So at the moment there is nothing, there are no changes. So I'll just remove 1 digit and put it back just to show you. Normally you wouldn't have to do it because you would most probably be adding the details on the personal information screen at the beginning and unlikely to be changing them later to the wrong ones just to show someone how it works, right? So I'm just gonna resave it. And what is this? We have the error message that tells us that the system, so we are joined up, we're expecting this number, NASE, where question mark is either a letter of a number. This is just because we don't know what would that be. That's why I put questions mark in there. However, we currently have an ASH. There is one identified problem. Part of the license ID is based on your surname, NASE. If we've got the wrong surname for you, please enter the correct one below. So the error messages are actually directed to drivers filling the forms on the computers. So that's why it says you, but obviously we mean the driver. So we can enter the correct surname in here. If we made a mistake on the first screen, I was going to refresh it now, sorry. It's a demo environment, so it's a little bit slower than the live system, of course. So now we are all good. And if we scroll up, we can see that the surname of the worker is again, as it was before, Nash. Now we can test the date of birth. Let's change the year of birth and now let's again just resave it so we can see if the error message shows. There we go. So what does it say now? Part of the license ID is based on your date of birth, and your date of birth is 31st of January 1992. So at the top here, if you check it correctly, if you check it really one by one, you will see that there are wrong numbers, not matching our driving license number. But we obviously know that no one would have time to go one by one. So that's why we highlight it for you in here. You don't have to put the new date of birth in this section. You can go back to the personal information. If you've noticed that surname is wrong, date of birth is wrong, maybe it's worth to actually go through the details and double check if it's all okay. So now we realize actually, yes, his date of birth on the license is 78 and someone was just trying to make this worker, this driver, much younger. If we go back to our license tracker and CPC now and scroll down, there is no error message on the license, all good. So let's check two more scenarios before we go. If the profile was set up with wrong gender, so let me just do that here. We will see this error message. Again, we can update it in here straight away without having to go back to the first screen. And if I go back now, it will be changed to 78, right? And I think the most common error, the first name. So what we sometimes come across is wrong information is in this box here. So when do we use this box? We use this box if the first name on the license is not the same as the first name on the profile. So let's say our driver's name is Robert, but he usually goes by Bob. I think this is quite common. It might be, it's many different names that you could do the same way. Drivers may not want to be called Robert, an example in this case, with a formal name, especially if it's very long or very complicated name. So if I go back here now, again, if I press resave, etc., you will see the message, the error message saying that if this is your the surnames or the name is not matching, please put your name in this box. But if we know ahead that these workers, we can see the driving license, we can see that actually their name is Robert, but they don't want to be called Robert, we save the details as Bob. So we can see that here now, first name on license, if not Bob. So if I add Robert and save, we will see no issues on the license at all. Let me just refresh. No issues on the license. And really, this is all. Don't forget to add the dates and the license categories, of course, and enjoy your weekend. And come back to us for the next video, which will be next month. See you later.